Okay, so this workout's purpose is to better identify any asymmetries that may be happening in your stroke. An asymmetry is just an imbalance from one side to the other. So these imbalances can exist in a number of ways. It can be purely just mechanics, so one side moves differently than the other side. It could be in coordination, so I have more control, more motor control over one side than the other. I'm right-handed. I can move my right hand through the water much more effectively than my left. That's my dumb hand. So it could be, again, that coordination, or it could be just overall power. Funny enough, I'm stronger through the left side. I can produce more power through that left arm pull than my right arm pull. Oddly enough, even though we have more dexterity, if you're right-handed with the right hand, that means we tend to be a little stronger with the left arm because that's what we carry all our stuff in as we're opening doors, carrying babies, things like that. So we all have asymmetries. They might even be existing from previous sport backgrounds, and that's why I always like to know, where did you come from an athletic background? I grew up playing hockey, and I was obsessed doing slap shots from the blue line over and over again. So in terms of my development, my core development, obliques particularly, I can rotate so much stronger this way from all the years of practicing that movement. I see soccer players all the time. Their kicking leg or striking leg is a lot more functional in the water for kicking than the other leg. So these all matter and they can add up. It's good to be aware of them, and that is what we're going to work on today. That being said, at the end, you're going to see you can still be stupid fast with huge asymmetries. So again, take it for a grain of salt. Looking at Kristen, the first asymmetry I mentioned is just the movement pattern. So we can see from Kristen's arm pull path, the left arm here, we got a little bit more of an elbow bend, setting up a little bit better compared to the right arm, which has a little deeper, more straight arm recovery. So this would just be an asymmetry in the movement pattern or mechanics where we're getting a little bit more of an elbow bend, a little shallower pull, and then a little deeper pull. And this is consistent across the entire stroke, whether she's breathing or not. Sometimes those asymmetries are created from the asymmetrical process of breathing. So we can see on Bryce here, as he turns his head to breathe, now we're gonna get a wider out sweep here, as you can see that arm sweeping way out, counteracting that rotational balance, and then it kind of it overcompensates and sweeps underneath the body, as opposed to here when he's not breathing, we don't sweep out as much. We don't sweep out at all, actually. It's bam, right into it. But as you can see, when he takes the breath on that right arm here, now we are crossing under quite a bit. So big asymmetrical difference purely caused by the imbalance of breathing, which is actually probably caused by some imbalances with the kick and the body position overall, some of that overroll there too. So it's not always just one thing. It's usually a combination of things. But anyway, asymmetrical. Looking at Ben here, this would be the difference of, I'm going to say coordination or motor control. The left arm here, we can see bringing a lot of bubbles. So I'm going to assume Ben is right-handed. This is the dumb arm, and it's moving through the right path, but it's really not controlling what it's doing. We also have an asymmetry on the entry where we have a nice flat hand entry on the left, and then we have a really internally rotated hands, actually right at 90 degrees there. So asymmetrical on the entry, but we're actually clearing the bubbles off a lot nicer and controlling the water a little bit better. Funny enough, the left hand actually looks better in terms of the paddle, where the right, we really got that thumb out. Regardless, I would still say that right is going to be holding the water a lot more better and has a lot more motor control. So you're going to feel that as you're swimming through the workout. Oh man, my right feels really controlled. My left, God, it doesn't even know what it's doing. It's just moving through the water. And then we have just coordinating everything together. So we will do some work where we're working on the timing. And what I'll be asking you to do is use the kick to action the roll to set up the whole stroke. So as you can see, I'm initiating with the kick. My kick is starting on the close side here right now. The arm is just getting into the catch. So this is where I say the kick will lead everything. So I'm actually starting the strength phase of the kick, which can be right away, a little earlier than the strength phase of the arm pull. So as I scrub through really closely here, or really slowly here, so the kick is about halfway done here, whoops, here. So that's the initiation of the hip roll. So that first little bit. And then as I'm getting into the power phase here, the hips are now starting to roll a little bit more. I'm finishing the power and the kick right here. Basically, the kick finishes at the end of the mid pull, and then I finish the arm pull stroke. So when I say lead the kick, or let the kick lead the hip roll for the timing, that's all I want you to think about in this one. And as I said, you may have an asymmetric kick from one side to the other. So one side may set up really nice, and then the other side may not. Now I have a pretty symmetrical kick, where as you can see, it's setting up here, driving that initial hip roll to the other side, and then the arm follows through. Now, when I say you can be asymmetrical on everything and still be fast, I don't know if you can pick out who this swimmer is. It's not from the club. This is Katie Ledecky, who is arguably the fastest distance swimmer, female distance swimmer in the world. I'd say Summer McIntosh, at least at the making of this video, is giving her a run for her money, but she's still crushing the mile. And as I play here, you can easily see there's asymmetries in not only the arm pull, but definitely the kick. So one leg is doing nothing, it's dragging. Now the thing is, she can generate a ton of that rotational force from the other leg. And this is actually the last 50 or 100 when Katie wants to go quicker. She'll bring in a 6-beat kick, and now both legs are going. But you can see there's a big asymmetry from the side closest here. Let's see if I can cue it up. Side closest, kicking now, pulling through, to the other side that just really snaps. So that one's a little bit lighter. And that, again, that's the leg that was usually dragging. And then she snaps really hard through the other side. So again, you can be the best in the world and have a asymmetric swim stroke. But again, if you can make these finer detail improvements, hopefully overall it'll make you a faster swimmer in the water and maybe a little more balanced as well. So let's look at the workout. So we're gonna warm up with 200 choice swim. So again, feel free, mix it up, do any of the strokes you like, or just stick with your freestyle, that's cool too. Then we will continue on with some of the kick work that we've been doing. So a little bit of kick on either front or back. You can use a kickboard or no kickboard. You could also do some kick on your side, holding that side glide with flutter kick type position, or that extended freestyle position. And then we'll throw fins on, where really just focus on keeping those ankles nice and floppy, keeping the amplitude as tight as you can so you're not creating any additional drag. Before we finish off the warm-up with a whole bunch of sculling again, get used to it. If you don't have a snorkel yet, I would highly recommend invest in a snorkel. It'll make your life way easier. So we'll do some double arm catch sculls. So up here in the catch, again, lower it down, pop the elbows, and start to get a little bit more into that high elbow or forward elbow catch position. Again, within your current range of motion limitations. So don't push it too hard and rip your shoulders apart, but slow progress. Then we'll do double arm mid pull skull. So right about the shoulder line, that'll be that wiper skull. Set up that nice strong power diamond. Just getting used to those fingertips coming to midline and back out again. Again, holding the water. And then the last one down at the finish underneath the hips. And again, if you got a snorkel, that'll make your life way easier. On all of this skull work, I'm going to ask that you slow it down even more. Nice, slow frequency. play with the water, become one with the water. Not only are we using this for mechanics, but we're also going to start shifting into using this more for the feel of the water, the holding water pressure. So slow everything down and see if you feel something different on this workout. Then we're into the main set, where this is where we're going to start working on some of the isolateral work, or even ipsilateral, the same side. So isolateral, opposite sides, ipsilateral, same sides. So we're going to start with just doing one arm drill, fin on one foot, and doing one arm you're not using, leave up, and just focus on setting up the kick timing with the arm pull. So kick and arm pull, same side. As you saw in the video just now, the kick is going to lead it just slightly, but trying to time everything and pay attention to any imbalances from one side or one leg to the other in terms of your ability to fire the kick, to coordinate the kick, to have some strength behind that kick. And again, do you have any imbalances or not? Then we'll just swim that out with the focus of hitting that kick timing really nice. Then we will move down and do some isolateral paddle work. So swimming freestyle, but you're going to have a paddle on one hand. So that's just going to give you different surface area where I want you to tune in to the force production and the motor control or the coordination of one hand compared to the other hand. So if you have a dominant, your right hand typically, compared to your non-dominant, compare force application and coordination between the two. Then we'll swim that out again, just evening it up, trying to think about perfect symmetry between the two. So if you can start narrowing that gap, that would be wonderful. And then the last one, we're going to go one paddle, one fin, same side, focused on basically those two put together. So the stroke timing, making sure both sides are firing in the same coordinated fashion. And is there any imbalances with the different surface areas? So that'll be the last one before we swim out 200 more freestyle with perfect symmetry. Okay, with better awareness of our asymmetries, and we can work from it from there. After that, we cool down, and we'll see you in the next workout.